America, the land of opportunity, a beacon of prosperity, a place where anyone, regardless of their background, could rise through sheer effort and determination. This is the myth we've been sold for generations. But in truth, the wealth and power in this country have always been concentrated in the hands of the few, while the majority struggle to survive. The numbers don't lie, and neither do the lived experiences of millions of Americans who have been left behind. The 1% have become the 0.1% holding more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. This isn't just a statistic, it's a system designed to benefit those at the top, while keeping the rest of us fighting for scraps. And while we've been told that hard work leads to success, the truth is that the game has been rigged from the start. The rich get richer, and for most the American dream remains an elusive myth. For the past few decades, policymakers have perpetuated the illusion that income inequality is either an inevitable byproduct of a globalized economy or a necessary feature of a free market system. Meanwhile, the rules of the game continue to be stacked in favor of the powerful. In the 1980s, the mantra of trickle-down economics was born. Cut taxes for the rich and corporations, and the benefits will eventually flow down to the working class. But after 40 years of this experiment, we're left with the undeniable truth. It didn't work. The wealth didn't trickle down. It flooded upwards, and now the richest Americans have more than they can possibly spend, while millions of families struggle to put food on the table, find affordable housing, and access quality healthcare. And yet, we've been told to wait. Wait for the economy to recover. Wait for the trickle. But as wealth has concentrated at the top, wages have remained stagnant, the cost of living has skyrocketed, and the divide between the rich and the rest of us has never been wider. Look around. The working class, especially people of color, have been fighting an uphill battle for decades. Yet, the evidence is clear: trickle-down economics has failed to deliver on its promises. Instead of lifting all boats, tax cuts for the wealthy have primarily benefited those at the very top, leaving the rest behind. Corporations have prioritized enriching shareholders over investing in their workforce, leading to greater economic disparity. Wages have stagnated, the middle class has shrunk, and the working poor have swelled, struggling to make ends meet. The Black Lives Matter movement rose to the challenge, showing the nation that racial inequality and economic disparity go hand in hand. It is no accident that those who have faced generations of systemic oppression are also the most economically marginalized. The economy has always been rigged, not only by class, but also by race. And yet, there are those who resist change at every turn. Those in power, the wealthy elite, the corporate lobbyists, the politicians who take their money and peddle their interests, have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo. They block policies like universal health care, a living wage, and higher taxes on the rich because they understand one simple truth: the system works for them. When workers demand better pay, better working conditions, or more rights, they are met with resistance. Corporations like Amazon and Uber fight to keep their workers as independent contractors, denying them healthcare, paid leave, and the stability of full-time employment. The system pushes people into precarity, and as long as the wealthy and powerful can maintain the narrative that this is all part of the natural order, they'll keep reaping the rewards. But the tide is turning. From the fight for $15 to the growing interest in unionization, the labor movement is gaining momentum again. Workers are waking up to the realization that they have power, and they're demanding a share of the wealth they help generate. The push for a universal basic income, the growing popularity of policies that promote wealth redistribution, and the increasing calls for reparations are all signals of a rising consciousness. The old systems that have kept us divided are starting to fray at the edges. However, the fight is far from over. The forces of resistance are strong, and they're playing every trick in the book to keep the game rigged. Corporate money floods the political system, ensuring that politicians remain beholden to the wealthy few. The Citizens United ruling allowed for the unlimited flow of dark money, amplifying the voices of the rich while silencing the needs of the poor. Political gridlock keeps progressive policies from moving forward, and the rhetoric of socialism is used as a boogeyman to scare people into complacency. The media too plays its part, often distracting the public with the latest outrage or crisis, instead of focusing on the systemic issues that are perpetuating inequality. But here's the truth. We all have a stake in this fight. From the single mother working 2 jobs to make ends meet, to the factory worker whose job was outsourced, to the immigrant trying to survive in a broken system, this affects everyone. The middle class is shrinking, and many who once thought they were immune to the ravages of inequality are now finding themselves caught in the same struggles as the working poor. White Americans, Black Americans, Latinos, Asian Americans, we are all facing the consequences of a system that favors the few over the many. And if we don't act now, the gap will only continue to widen until we reach a breaking point. So, what must be done? First, we must reclaim our democracy. The power of the wealthy elite is only as strong as the institutions they control. We must demand campaign finance reform that limits corporate influence, and support politicians who are willing to fight for the public good over corporate interests. We must overturn Citizens United, push for public financing of elections, and reduce the influence of money in politics. Second, we must push for bold economic reforms. A universal basic income, a wealth tax, and stronger labor protections are essential for addressing the deep divides in our society. We must demand that the wealthy pay their fair share in taxes, and stop using loopholes to hoard wealth. We must expand social safety nets, ensuring that healthcare, education, and housing are available to all, not just the privileged few. Third, we must tackle racial inequality head-on. The fight for economic justice is incomplete without racial justice. We must acknowledge the role that slavery, segregation, and discrimination have played in creating and maintaining economic inequality. Reparations are not just a moral imperative, they are an economic one. We must repair the damage done to communities that have been historically disenfranchised, particularly Black Americans, who have borne the brunt of systemic racism for centuries. Lastly, we must build solidarity across communities. The divide and conquer strategy has worked too well for too long. Working-class Black Americans, Latinos, immigrants, and white Americans, we are all in this fight together. We must unite, not divide, and fight for policies that lift all people, not just the privileged few. Only through collective action can we challenge the systems of power that have kept us apart. America's story isn't over, but for it to truly live up to its promise, we must acknowledge the truth of where we are, where we've been, and where we need to go. The needle must move, or we risk losing everything. The fight for economic and racial justice isn't just for the poor or the marginalized, it's for all of us. Because when one of us suffers, we all suffer. It's time to tear down the walls of inequality and rebuild this country as it was meant to be, a land of opportunity, not just for the few, but for everyone. The time for change is now.